So, The Last of Us Part 3, the next major update 11.0 for the PlayStation 5, and what's going on with the beta release, and the PlayStation Showcase timeframe and the April event. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, are you buying any Xbox games this year or not? Forza Horizon 5, Indiana Jones, Doom the Dark Ages, Age of Mythology, and more Xbox games are coming. Are you interested in any of these games? So comment below yes or no if you're buying any Xbox games this year on PlayStation 5 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the first story of the video, the PlayStation Showcase timeframe and the April event. So both of these pieces of information come from Jeff Grubb, and you probably heard about them over the weekend, but I wanted to cover them here on the Monday video. Jeff Grubb has stated that in April, Marathon is probably going to have its own event from Bungie to speak to their audience. This is why we didn't see Marathon pop up at the recent State of Play, according to him. April is an interesting mention here by Jeff Grubb, since Tom Warren of The Verge also recently said that April is going to be a good month for PlayStation 5 players, but I assumed he was referring to more Xbox games coming to the PlayStation 5. Maybe that is what he's referring to, or maybe he's hinting at possibly other items as well. Beyond that, Jeff Grubb also talked about the next major PlayStation event. He stated that Sony is currently flip-flopping, going back and forth between a State of Play or a PlayStation Showcase for this summer. They're still deciding on which one to go with, and for me, I'm thinking if you're going to use that PlayStation Showcase naming setup again, Sony, you have got to make sure to bring the heat for that event. It has to be a major event. You can't just say PlayStation Showcase and not showcase a lot of your first party titles, get people excited, make it one of the best shows of the year. You have to do that if you're going to use PlayStation Showcase as your naming scheme. If they go with the PlayStation Showcase, Jeff Grubb believes this is where we're finally going to see more of Wolverine, which I assume would be the case if it's called a PlayStation Showcase. The last PlayStation Showcase Sony had took place in May of 2023, I believe, and before that, showcases took place in September. So if Sony's going to do another showcase, I assume they'd want to once again get ahead of the Summer Games Fest season and do another one in May. Of course, we're gonna have to wait and see. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now diving into the second story of the video, Last of Us Part 3. So recently people have been reading this article focused on a conversation or cross interview between Neil Druckmann and Cory Barlog, just talking about their history in the gaming industry. And at one point Neil Druckmann was responding to Cory about thinking about sequels, and Neil said this: "So when I was making The Last of Us Part 2, yeah sure, every once in a while an idea pops in your head of where it might go if we get the chance to do another one. But I approach it as, what if I never get to do another one? I'm not saving some idea for the future. If there's a cool idea, I'm doing my best to get it in here." Cory replied saying that he actually thinks well ahead of the current game, thinking this game will lead to this game or lead to that game, and these two connect like this, etc. So Cory thinks in multiple games, which makes sense, honestly, since originally Cory wanted to release 5 God of War games in a short span of time to tell the Norse story, which obviously didn't happen. But Neil replied with saying, "I think for me that requires a level of confidence I just don't have. Like, this is going to be successful. I know where this is going next. I'm like, I just want to focus on the next 5 days in front of me, let alone 10 years down the line." So for some reason, I've seen some people react to this worried about Last of Us Part 3 taking forever or possibly not happening. And I'm not sure how people got to that point from this conversation, unless I missed something. All I see here is Neil saying he focuses on the current game and doesn't think about the next one that much, while Cory says he thinks across multiple games. That's it. That's what I understand from here. Last we heard from Neil, he has a concept for Last of Us Part 3, and we assume that's the next project in the works at Naughty Dog, following, of course, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. But you guys let me know if you're looking forward to The Last of Us Part 3 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, the next major update for the PlayStation 5, update 11.0 and its beta. What's going on? So it's past mid-February and we still have not gotten any news as to when the next major PlayStation 5 update beta is going to roll out, which is unusual because by now we'd have it. The latest we've gotten it this generation, I believe, was February 9th in 2022, and now we're at February 17th and still nothing from Sony. We've heard that Sony has plans to release updates more frequently going forward, so maybe that is the change and Sony is fully moving on from the major releases setup that they've had at the beginning and end of the year. I would love that, obviously, that we're going to get more frequent updates, but it would be nice to have some transparency on these releases. Usually we'd have these major updates to look forward to, and if they're moving on from that format, then we just can't have expectations for when new features are set to arrive, which is honestly not fun, obviously. We'd end up just waiting around for whenever Sony decides to launch an update, and hopefully that update will have new features and not just be a system stability update. This is the worry here, that Sony might be winding down updates for the PlayStation 5 since the PlayStation 6 is reportedly launching holiday 2027. If you've noticed, the last few major updates did have some good features, but didn't have a lot like they usually do. It might be that going forward, we're just waiting on Sony to drop random updates, hoping for new features. If anyone at Sony is watching, please give us more structure so we're not just walking in the dark hoping for new updates. Let's see how things go for the rest of the month. We don't know if Sony has fully moved on from this major releases setup. We'll know if all of February just passes and we get nothing from Sony. We'll see how it goes. But you guys let me know what features you want for the PlayStation 5. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Make It Big Sony." Obviously here we're referring to the PlayStation event in the summer. I say event because again, we don't know if it's a state of play or showcase. Honestly, for me, I don't care about the naming scheme. I just want Sony to have their first party games and finally start being more comfortable talking about all of these games. We've had first reveals at this point, but we need gameplay. We need that excitement. We need more fleshed out details if these games are coming out in the near future. Like what is going on with Ghost of YOTEI? I'm hoping that thing's gonna have a state of play in March or something, or in April, and that is gonna tell us that, hey, this game is gonna release in June. Hopefully it's not. We get something in May and this thing releases in September. Like, I hope that's not the case. I hope Ghost of YOTEI is an early release for the year, not a late release. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we do have a big event this summer. If you're excited for it as well, like I am, destroy the comment section with "Make It Big Sony," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.